What's up, everybody? It's Chibi, and today I'm going to be doing an anime review on Garo! Oh, I love that opening song. A lot more than I thought I would, actually. I mean, I listened to it again right before this episode, and I was like, damn, it's fucking good. I mean, it's seriously underrated for an opening song. But anyways, this week's episode of Garo, we changed the perspective from Leon and Herman to over Alfonso. That's the main focus of this episode. The main perspective is Alfonso getting his characterization. That's pretty much what this episode is. And honestly, I think this episode was needed, because out of all the episodes, Alfonso's kind of been thrown to the back burner since, like, episode 1, and personally, I've actually forgotten about him quite a few times through the course of this series. And when I can forget about one of the main story's key characters, that's not good. So I'm glad this episode took the time to actually introduce Alfonso, his determination, his motive, his destiny, stuff like that. That's exactly what this episode was meant for, and it did a proper job of introducing his personality to all of us. Of course, we got some personality bits a couple episodes back, but I mean, we don't still know much about him, and with this episode, we finally kind of understand a little bit how he is, and where his standpoint is in terms of power, up against Leon, Herman, and how he can face against horror. So, overall, the episode did its job properly, and I was entertained. So let's get into the gritty details. The details of this episode, pretty much the main focus. Like I said, you had it to where Alfonso was learning the past history of his, mother, how his mother did not know she was a descendant from the Makai Knights, the Golden Armor. She did not realize that, and she had her entire background and turned into an aristocrat without knowing, for instance. So, personally, a very interesting way to tell us the backstory of, Alfonso, because the mother, the actual queen of the kingdom, watched her own sister burn at the stake years ago, Leon's mother. So that's actually pretty fucked up if you think about it, because the queen watched her own sister burn without even realizing it. Oh my god, that's pretty fucked up. It really is. And with this, it shows us that Leon and Alfonso are actually blood related to some form of extent. They're like cousins. So, yeah, well, we see the connection here, and we technically have our three Makai Golden Armor Knights. We have, Leon, we have Herman, and we have Alfonso. Now, this other dude that came up in this episode, he was the, Makai Knight Defender, or the Knight of Defending or something. That's exactly what his title was. I don't really know his name at the moment. It'll take me a couple episodes to actually fully learn his name. But the dude is a badass. I'm just saying it. He is a badass. With this episode, he was just kicking in face with that horror, that slimy, grotesque slug horror that was trying to eat the woman and child. That was a pretty top scene. The creature looks something you would see out of, Spirited Away. If anyone's ever seen that movie, that's exactly what that creature reminded me of. Something out of that series, and I was just like, holy hell. It was something that you would see getting in a hot tub and just try to, wash its dirty filth off, Spirited Away. Anyways, besides that entire bit, this episode, pretty slow. It wasn't nothing bad. It wasn't a bad episode. It was just a slow episode to introduce Alfonso. That's what it was. We get to find out a little bit more about Mendoza, what his entire plans is. He's trying to lure in the prince to come in and try to save his mother, and then he's going to kill Alfonso. That's exactly what he's thinking at the moment. So, that's pretty much all that happened in this week's episode. I mean, there's a couple other bits that happened, but it seems like, Alfonso needs to train to be able to fight horrors, because, dude, the Knight of Defending or whatever, dude, that fucking sword, did you see that? He held it out, and his arm is held out for 15 seconds. Alfonso tries to grab it, and it just goes straight through freaking stone and all that. I'm like, dude, how fucking heavy is that? I mean, think about this for a second. How heavy must a sword be, realistically? Let's think about this realistically in our real life. How heavy must a sword be if you were to actually drop it and it breaks straight through fucking solid stone? How heavy must that be? Is that a ton? If anyone knows, please let me know. But shit, dude, that's fucking heavy to even break through stone. So, yeah, overall, wonderful episode. I would give it a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. Nothing too bad, nothing too good. It's just a decent episode for characterization. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.